Hello students, welcome to our first project, and these are all the things that we are going to be needing. I'm using a 0.7 fishing line, I'm using 8mm crystal beads and a pair of scissors, and that is basically it. We are going to get started with the tutorial immediately. You are going to pick up 4 beads and you're going to string all 4 beads on your fishing line, and you are going to cross with the 4th bead. So we have our first cross or our first circle of 4. We are going to string 1 bead into the fishing line on our left, 1 bead into the fishing line on our right, pick up another bead, and we are going to cross with that 3rd bead. And this is going to give us our second circle of 4 or our second cross. We are going to repeat this again. You're going to insert 1 bead into the fishing line on your left, 1 bead into the fishing line on your right, and you're going to cross with the 3rd bead. And we need to build this for a total of 10 rows, but I'm going to do 9 rows first, and the 10th row is going to be a turn. So just go ahead and do this until you have 9 rows. Okay, here we are with our 9 rows or our 9 crosses. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have that there, and now we are going to have the 10th one, and the 10th one is easily taking your fishing line on your right, string 3 beads on that fishing line, and you go ahead and cross with the 3rd bead. This is going to give us our 10th cross or our 10th circle of 4, and it's going to help us finish this row and turn our work so that we can start working on the other row. So with the fishing line facing away from our work, or the one on my right hand right now, I'm still going to pick up 3 beads and I'm going to cross with the 3rd bead. And this is our second crossing. This is our second turn. I beg your pardon. This is our second turn. And this second turn starts the next row. Okay? Now to continue our work with the fishing line on my right or the fishing line on my dominant hand, I'm going to enter and insert that fishing line into the following bead from the previous row. With the fishing line on my left, I'm going to pick up 2 beads and I'm going to cross with the 2nd bead, and this helps me to build my cross just like that. I'm going to insert my fishing line into the following bead of the previous row or row 1. Then with the fishing line on my left, I'm going to pick up 2 beads and I'm going to cross with the 2nd bead. Now we are going to continue this pattern till we get to the last but 1 bead on this our row number 2, and then we are going to make a turn. So I'll see you when we get there. Okay, we are at the end. I'm going to insert my fishing line into the last bead from the previous row, and on that same fishing line I'm going to pick up 2 beads and I'm going to cross with the 2nd bead like so. So that is our first turn, and that first turn completes the row that we are currently working on and helps us to start working on the next row. Then with the fishing line facing away from our work, or the one on my right hand right now, I'm going to pick up 3 beads and I'm going to cross with the 3rd bead. And I'm just going to continue the pattern that we had for row 2. Insert your fishing line into the following bead from the previous row. Then the fishing line on your left, you pick up 2 beads and you cross. So you're just going to repeat everything that we did for row number 2 and row number 3 now, and make a total of 15 rows. Okay, here we are with our 15 rows. So this mat here is a 10 by 15 mat. Okay, if you go ahead and count, we have 15 rows, and if we divide the 15 rows, we are going to have 7 rows on one side, 1 row for the base, then 7 rows on the other side. So that's 7 plus 1 plus 7 is a total of 15. So I'm going to count 7 on one side, 7 on the other side, and I'm going to cross, I'm going to fold it so that I'm going to have 1 row as the base. So this is building our wallet. We are building our wallet in the flat method. Remember the three methods from our class? I was teaching you the three methods on how to build the bag in the round, in pieces, and flat. So this one we are building it flat. Now we are simply going to join the corners of our bag. To start building our corners, I inserted my fishing line first into that bottom bead for the base. Then I'm inserting the fishing line on my right into the first bead on the right, and the one on my left into the first bead on my left. Then I'm going to pick up one bead and I am going to cross with that one bead. And just like that, we have our first join. To continue, I'm going to insert the fishing line on my right into the following bead, the fishing line on my left into the following bead. Then I am going to cross with another bead. So I'm going to pick up one bead and I'm going to cross with that one bead. So I am going to repeat the same motion again. Insert my fishing line into the following bead on the right and into the following bead on the left, and then I'm going to cross with one bead, and I'm going to do this until I get to the top. Please know that your wallet is easily customizable. You don't need to do 10 rows at the beginning. You could do 12, you could even do less. You don't need to do 15 rows. You could do more than 15 rows to make it bigger or smaller than what I have here. I'm going to give you the measurements and you're going to customize it if you want yours to be bigger or smaller. I'll just advise you to measure what you want to insert into your purse first, so that you can know how you're going to customize the design. Okay, here we are at the end. I've inserted my fishing on my right into the following bead. Then I am picking up one bead. Then I'm going to use the same fishing line and go down so that it can meet the fishing line on my left. And of course, I'm just going to tie it double knot. Then I am going to tuck my fishing line. Make sure I'm hiding the knot into a bead. Okay, so I'm just going to tuck in my fishing line. Then I'm basically going to repeat the exact same thing on the other side, but please, when you're cutting the fishing line for the second side, make it to be a little more longer than the one you cut for this side, because we are going to build the handle immediately. Okay, I'm just finishing up with the other side right now, and I actually crossed the last bead here. Then I'm going to start building the handle. So on one end of my fishing line, I inserted 30 beads to make the handle. You can do more, you can do less, depending on how long you want your handle to be. Okay, so I did a total of 30, and I just made that fishing line to meet the one that's already there, and I strung 30 here, by the way, and I thought it was too small, so I added another 10, so there's a total of 40. I beg your pardon, there's 40 beads here. Then I just went to the bottom where we crossed and I just tied it. And make sure that you tuck in your knot. Make sure that the knot is not visible. You insert the knot into a bead, then you tuck the remainder of your fishing line around your wallet. Now our wallet is almost done. We just need to make the cover or the lid of our wallet. Now you can do this however you want. You could do a full cover, that is doing an entire row from side to side for your cover. But mine, I did a total of 4 rows for my cover. So remember, we had 10 rows at the beginning, so you could do a cover of all those 10 rows, but I simply counted 4 rows, the 4 rows in the middle of my wallet, and I decided to work on those 4 rows to make the lid or the cover of our wallet. So I'm going to insert my fishing line into the fourth bead right there. Then I'm going to build a mat basically until I get to the seventh bead. So like I said, I did 4 rows. So the fishing line on my left, I'm going to pick up 3 beads and I'm going to cross with the third bead, just like that. Then I'm going to insert my fishing line into the following row, and I'm going to pick up 2 beads on the fishing line on my left, and I'm going to cross with the second bead. So this is going to form our second row for our lid. So I'm going to insert my fishing line into the third bead, and with the other fishing line I'm going to pick up 2 beads and I'm going to cross with the second bead. So that's 3. Now for the fourth one, I'm going to insert my fishing line on my right into the fourth bead, and using that same fishing line I am going to pick up 2 beads and I am going to cross with the second bead. Okay, so I'm picking up 2 beads with the fishing line on my right and I'm going to cross with the second bead, and this gives us the turn that we need to start the next row. And with the fishing line still on my right, or the one away from the work, I'm going to pick up 3 beads and I'm going to cross with the third bead. I'm going to use my working line and insert it into the bead from the previous row, pick up the fishing line on my left, then pick up 2 beads and cross to the second bead, and I'm simply going to build this mat for a total of 3 rows. So this is the second row. I'm going to do another row and then I'm going to see you there. So here we are on the third row, and for this third row I want to prepare for a decrease for the fourth row. So with the fishing line on my left, I'm picking up 2 beads and then I am going backwards into that very last bead from the previous row. Then I'm going to go into that crossing bead from the row that the circle of 4 that we just did, so that my fishing line is going to be moving backwards. I want both ends of my fishing line to come out of the last but one bead right there. So I am moving my fishing line around until I get to that bead right there. Then I'm inserting the other end into the same bead, and that is our decrease. So I wanted to do a row of decrease just like that. Then with the fishing line on the right, I'm going to pick up 3 beads, I'm going to cross with the third bead, and then we are going to insert our fishing line. You could insert it into the following bead, but I just took my picking line on the fishing line on my left, picked up 2 beads, then I went into that bead from the previous row, met the other fishing line, then I just tied my work, then I tuck it in. So now we are going to create the lock part of our bag. We are not using any magnetic locks in this video, so we are going to create the lock part. So you're going to get an extra fishing line. You're going to string 7 beads on that fishing line, 7 beads, and then you're going to cross with the 7th bead, and so you're going to have a circle of 7 like this, right? Then you're going to pick up 1 bead on the left fishing line, 1 bead on the right fishing line. So we have 1 bead on our left fishing line, 1 bead on the right fishing line, and we are just going to go into those 2 beads that we had at the edge of our lid, and we are going to go in the opposite directions like so. Then of course we are going to tuck our fishing line on our lid. So this is how it's supposed to look like. We are going to tuck our fishing line up on our lid till both fishing lines meet. We are going to tie them, we are going to tuck them away from each other. Now we are going to create the part that is going to lock our bag together. So I'm just going to mark where I want it to be. So that's about the 3rd row. Then I'm going to pick up 2 beads on one end of our fishing line. Then I'm going to insert it. We're not crossing on the second bead. I'm just going to insert it like this, and this is how it's going to look like. And I was just testing it out to see if it's going to enter that circle, and it did perfectly. So I'm just going to attach it to our bag. So you just test how far you want your lock to be for your purse. So mine was about the second row. I decided to leave it about the second row. So I just inserted my fishing line in the two opposite directions, each end in two opposite directions. Then I made sure that both of the fishing lines met on one place. Then I tied off. I tucked away all the excess fishing line. Then I simply cut off what was left. Okay, so this is it. This is how it's looking like. And I am just going to press that circle into that one bead right there, and our wallet is closing nice and good. So this is how it's looking like. We are basically done with our wallet here. This is just a fast bead project, and I thought that it was perfect for beginners. If you want to get your foot in the door with starting your own beaded bags, this one is the best. Okay, so I have an ID card here, some business cards, and I have some money here. So let us do the test for the bag. She's just a sweet little simple wallet or card holder, so you can hold your business cards, whatever you have, you just shove it in. And yeah, so it's small, but it can hold a lot of these business cards. Okay, it works perfectly. So you just put it in there, you can hang it, you can attach your keys to this could be also work as your little key holder. So customize this however you want to, do whatever you please with it. And yep, that is basically it for this tutorial. As a beginner, I hope this first project of yours was easy enough. Hopefully you understood it after watching the entire course or the tutorials that I have put for the entire course. So now let's take measurements for our bag in case you want to recreate the same bag but maybe with different beads, or you want to customize it to increase the size of your bag. Right now I'm just going to take measurements for the bag. So my tail length of my bag is about 3/4 inch, 3/4 inches. That is the length of the bag. Then the height of my bag is about 2.25 and 3/4 inches. So that is it. And for the lid, mine is about 2 inches. The lid is about 2 inches. And for the handle of the bag, I believe the handle of the bag was 9 inches. So you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. That's basically it for this tutorial. As you can see, it fits my wrist perfectly. Everything was nice and good. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you in our second project. So make sure you go and check the second project, and I'll see you there.